Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Using EV Charging Stations to Drive Traffic to Main Street with Charge Deals. My name is Savannah Blantz. I am the Programs Coordinator at Connecticut Main Street Center. In a moment, I will introduce today's speaker, but first, just a few words. Connecticut Main Street Center is the expert resource for developing and sustaining vibrant downtowns and main streets that fuel our state's prosperity. We all know a great downtown when we're in it. It's a feeling, an energy that we can sense, see, and experience, but it can be hard to articulate what exactly makes a main street great. So we've broken it down into 6 qualities to make it easier to grasp. There is always dedicated Main Street management. The Main Street is connected by multiple modes of transportation for people to access. It's welcoming, friendly, and inclusive. Sustainable practices are in place that bring life and vibrancy for today and for the future. Small businesses are supported and encouraged, as well as residential and commercial development. And there is a unique sense of place. It is our mission to assess, educate, and convene around these topics central to advancing communities across Connecticut to establish and maintain vibrant main streets. We are grateful to our sponsors and funding partners that make this work possible. Connecticut Main Street Center's founding sponsors are Eversource and the State of Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development. Additional funding comes from Webster Bank, Travelers, and Liberty Bank. With that, I am very excited to introduce our speaker, Brian Kuhn, founder of Charge Deals. Brian Kuhn is an energy professional, startup founder, and military veteran with comprehensive experience in EV, utilities, marketing, and communications. He is the founder of Charge Deals, an application that incentivizes EV drivers to spend money at local businesses while they wait for their vehicle to charge. And with that, I will pass it over to you, Brian.
Thank you so much, Savannah. All right. Good morning, everyone. Can you see my screen, Savannah? Okay.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. So as Savannah stated, I'm the founder of Charge Deals, and I've been an electric vehicle driver for the past several years. And with that, charging both locally in my home state of Michigan and around the country, I really see the opportunity that EVs have on local downtowns and small businesses. So switching from a gas-powered vehicle to an electric vehicle is a bit of a lifestyle change. As everybody knows, most people, probably all people, do not have a gas station at their home. But with an electric vehicle, most people today have the ability to do nearly all of their charging out of their garage. It's, of course, becoming more accessible at multi-family units, and that's only going to become more accessible as utilities and local governments are making that push. So most of the charging for EV drivers is done at home. The time that you need to utilize public charging is on longer trips. So right now, the range is around 300 miles, and that is slowly growing. So only for trips that are more than kind of 250 miles, that's when EV drivers are looking for a place to charge. And when they do have to stop and charge, they're not there for 3 to 5 minutes like a gas station. That trip can last, from 20 minutes up to a few hours, depending on multiple ranges. So this really is a huge opportunity for downtowns because, one, you are attracting people from outside, far away, 250 miles or more, to your downtown areas looking for places to charge. And they're captive. They're there for a long period of time, stuck. They probably don't want to sit in their car and sit on Facebook for 35 minutes. Hopefully, we can get them out of their vehicle and spending money in your downtown area. So that's exactly what Charge Deals is doing. Our focus is on not only attracting these drivers to downtowns that have these public EV chargers, but once they do plug in, get them out of their vehicle and spend money locally. The problem is today installing EV chargers and the upkeep that comes with them is pretty expensive. So I have experience working at a utility, and I've worked on EV projects for the last several years. And what I can tell you is most public EV chargers are actually losing money or breaking even if they are charging fees for the electricity. The profit is not really coming from the actual electricity cost. What the profit comes from is from that person plugging in and going and spending money at that small business nearby. And then also, like I stated, when people are needing to plug in and charge. So for example, in my town in Southeast Michigan, I've actually never even used a public charger that's within, 30 or 40 miles of my home because I've had the ability to plug in my garage. But in those towns that are further away, in other states, that's when I'm utilizing public charging. But because of that, I'm in some random towns or stopping by on my way to a final destination. I'm not very familiar with what is there. I'm not familiar with the restaurants, the shops, the coffee shops, things like that. So these are the two problems that I'm trying to fix with charge deals. So as stated earlier, a small percentage actually comes from the charging fees if the towns or businesses are charging them at all. Many are offering it for free because the greater benefit really comes from those drivers spending money while they're plugged in. And then also what Charge Deals is really trying to do is highlight what is available to do nearby while those drivers are plugged in. So Charge Deals is a free map platform which shows drivers all of the chargers within the United States. And we recently added Canada because we're getting a lot of interest from municipalities there. And we highlight the chargers that partner with us, the towns or organizations that partner with us, showing drivers, hey, if you charge in this town, there's something to do and there's a deal that you can utilize while charging. So I will just jump over to that really quick here. So this is the live map, and as you can see, here are some of the towns that we have partnered with. So I'll just show you an example here if it doesn't lag. So here's an example of Coldwater, Michigan, which is in South Michigan that we've partnered with. So drivers know that if they're looking for a place to charge, maybe they'd choose Coldwater as their charging destination over another town, knowing that they can get these deals. So if drivers tap here, they would see all of the information that they'd want to know about this specific charger, the connector, and then here's some local deals that they can get. So for example, here's 10% off at this comic book store. A local brewery is giving a free pint with any purchase of an entree. So just something to incentivize that driver to get out of their vehicle while they are charging. We're also piloting with a town in Oregon right now to actually link the town's event calendar. So I know many of your towns may have, calendars that show farmers markets, festivals, things like that. That is something that we're also going to integrate into this. And so it would show drivers what events are happening while they're plugged in. The second thing is there's a self-service business portal for interested businesses that are in your town that would like to show a deal to a driver. So over here, this is an example of the business portal. So if an interested business in your town wanted to join Charge Deals. They would enter their business's name, address, category, things like that, a logo to brand it. And then they could go here and they could create an unlimited amount of deals to be shown at the chargers in your town. So I'll just go through here quickly. And many of the businesses that are on the platform, these are deals that they're already offering. It's just an additional channel to show off that deal. So here's they can add a barcode or QR code if they'd like to. We wanted to customize this as much as possible. Any custom terms and conditions that they wanted for that specific deal. And then obviously we only want to show the deal at the charger that is in your town. Because it wouldn't really make sense to show the deal, 50, 60 miles away, because these drivers are looking for something to do while they're plugged in. We also show the difference between level 2 and DC fast and what types of people tend to go there and for how long. So I'll just select this. And then how our business model actually works is we work with a sponsoring organization. So for example, a chamber of commerce, a Main Street organization, or the town itself. And they pay a flat rate fee. And then we give that sponsoring organization a promo code that they can then enter into here, and it's zero cost to the small business. I'll get into that a little bit later. We piloted this in a few Ohio and Michigan towns, and this was just for validation for me if this is something that I should continue to build. I'm obviously passionate about electric vehicles and how it can impact small businesses and downtowns, but would it actually work? And during our pilot, we saw almost a 25% conversion rate of drivers who actually plugged in and started charging, redeemed one or more deal at a nearby business. So this was validation for me that this is something I should continue to pursue and build out and expand throughout the country in downtown areas. A big reason why I reached out to Main Street Center in Connecticut is because I think that as EVs grow more and more, it's definitely going to help Connecticut downtowns. We've all seen the negative headlines about EV slowdown, but the fact is that year over year, adoption is growing at a pretty good pace. So I think that this sets up all of your downtowns, especially if you install EV charging, public EV charging. I think that it sets up your town very well because, like I stated, these are people that are captive and they're looking for something to do, and it very much could benefit your small businesses nearby those chargers. So I did a quick analysis a few months ago. The numbers may have grown since then, but I did identify 31 Connecticut Main Street Center towns that would be a good fit for charge deals. So what does a good fit mean? Public chargers that are available to the public. There are some chargers in towns that have restricted access, like at an apartment complex or just for workplace employees. That wouldn't be a good fit. We'd want something that anybody could just pull off the interstate, drive to your town, and plug in. And also near multiple small businesses that could benefit from that driver plugged in. So, for example, there are many towns that have a car dealership with an EV charger there, and that's the only public charger. That's probably not a good fit for this because there's not many small businesses near that car dealership. They're miles away from the downtown area, and people probably wouldn't plug in and then walk several miles to the downtown area. But here's a screenshot here of a town, Putnam, in Connecticut, that is an example of a town that has a charger near lots of small businesses that these drivers could utilize. So here's the list. My apologies if it's a little small. We'll send this afterwards in an email as well. But I also identified some towns that are a good fit for charge deals that have no Main Street affiliation, just for your awareness. So what's the catch with this? What we are seeking, because Connecticut is such a good good state for this, especially as EVs start to grow and you have beautiful downtown areas. We're seeking to run a 1-year pilot with multiple towns in Connecticut that would be a good fit for this. So the cost is $500. That's a one-time fee. There's no additional cost to the town or any interested businesses. As I stated earlier, any interested business in your town that would like to join this, it's zero cost to them. So what your town receives, or what your organization receives as a sponsoring organization, is you would receive the analytics. So this could be very beneficial because, for example, maybe your town has a few chargers now. 2 or 3 years down the road, the town may be discussing, should we install more chargers or should that money be put elsewhere? So you would be able to look at these analytics and see, are people coming into our town, plugging in and spending money, benefiting the tax base, benefiting those small businesses that are nearby? Or are they plugging in and then hitting the road and not really providing a benefit to your downtown area? So if it is the first one, maybe you would be able to make a greater case for your town that, yes, this money should be spent towards installing more chargers, because it's the ROI is being paid off a lot quicker and it's providing a lot of benefit to the downtown area, or vice versa. Maybe you're losing money and it's not really a good benefit to the downtown area to have public chargers. So that is the great benefit that organizations are seeing in charge deals. And again, I've had many conversations with towns, and Main Street organizations are definitely an interested organization in charge deals because of that. So I'll pause there. Again, we'll send out this presentation as well as some of those towns that we identified, and would be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much. That was a great presentation. I know I would like to see charge deals come to my city in Waterbury. So we will switch over to Q&A now. And I will read some of the questions that come through the chat. We have a question that says, what type of chargers does this integrate with?
Yeah, good question. So what we've been doing right now with towns that we've partnered with is, it doesn't matter what type of charger you have, even if it's a third party. So not to get too much into it, but there are a few different models that towns have. For example, towns may own and operate the charger, or they may have a third party that comes in and operates the charger, and then just gives some of the profit to that town. But what we do right now, Chuck, is we partner with the town. We create a customized QR code sticker that we place at or near the charger. And then the drivers can then scan and see those available deals, and redeem those. And then also we are in talks with partnering with multiple apps that show chargers throughout the United States to also integrate our API into their platform. Because our focus really is on what that driver is doing after they plug in. So the short answer is any type of charger can integrate with this. We just, place some sort of marketing, but also if you do not have permission to place that marketing, that's completely fine. We work to market to EV drivers to show off our free map to them so they can still redeem those deals in your town.
Thank you, Brian. Another question that we have is, have you considered a model where the electricity is free if the customer spends X amount of dollars at the business?
Yes, so Elizabeth, to answer your question, we actually only partner with towns that already have chargers installed. If your town is interested in installing chargers and you currently do not at this time, I would be happy to connect you with some partners who could install chargers in your town or at least give you a quote. But right now, we're only partnering with towns that have existing chargers.
Thank you. What is the per business cost to sign up outside of the pilot program?
Yeah, Justin, right now, it's around I think $1.99 a month just for each business, but we're focused on really the town organizations doing a flat rate fee. We've found that just one or two businesses hasn't been as successful. So we're really focused on the organization sponsoring and then getting a large group of businesses from that town to join.
Thank you, Brian. Another question that came through. How updated is your map compared to other charging apps? How penetrated are you with EV owners?
Yes, so our map, it's pretty up to date with all of the EV chargers. We actually have been getting our data from the Department of Energy. And so their map is updated, every 10 minutes. So that's where we are collecting some of the data on that. And then as far as EV owners, our focus for this year is really on scaling to towns. So our focus based on, getting data and feedback from EV drivers has been they really want to join a platform and download an app when there's lots of towns on the platform. So our focus is getting hundreds of towns on the platform. Would love to really get into Connecticut with several towns and pilot this. And then 2025, our focus is going to be all out on marketing to EV drivers, deploying our mobile app and things like that to increase the number of owners.
Thank you. Those existing chargers can be private ones, correct? It's not necessary that towns have municipally owned chargers.
Kevin, I we may have to chat about that offline. If you have a specific charger that is listed as private, um, through the Department of Energy, then we would not show that charger, but we're only showing chargers that are public right now on our map.
Thank you, Brian. Do you have any numbers about what types of businesses tend to benefit the most?
Yes, great question. So, um, I guess what we found through focus groups and then also looking at the data of towns that we are currently in is the types of businesses that you would probably want to go in if you had 35, 45 minutes to kill in a town. So coffee by far number one, that's highly utilized by people. Um, those types of businesses, restaurants, boutique shops, things like that. Not every single business would benefit from this. For example, a insurance agent or something like that would probably not find any benefit of this because again, these are people stopping in your town. They're not from that area. They're just there for a few hours. So those types of businesses, I guess if you could think about a road trip that you went on, if you had to stop in a downtown area and you were there for an hour, 2 hours, what's the types of businesses that you would want to utilize? Those tend to be the most successful on charge deals.
Thank you. And Brian, have you seen any examples of how communities are trying to use the Charge Deals platform to increase marketing efforts towards tourism in their communities?
Yes, absolutely. There's a town in Oregon, the Dalles, that we are in talks with. They're the ones that are piloting the event calendar as well. So they're utilizing Charge Deals to kind of really show off their town sustainability efforts. And a lot of the businesses being within walking distance and with lots of things to do downtown near the Charger.
Thank, thank you. All right. If anyone else has any further questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A now.
Oh, looks like there's a follow-up from Kevin.
Okay,
Yes, Kevin. So, there are the way we built the platform was so that towns did not have to actually own the charger in order to benefit from it. So, for example, if there was a grocery store in your town that had Tesla superchargers, we would still be able to show off the deals that are within walking distance on our map at that Tesla supercharger or a third party charger. So, yes, private chargers that are owned by a different company or different entity other than that town would still be able to benefit.
thank you. Right now, we don't have further questions in the Q&A. Brian, do you have any closing remarks or final thoughts you'd like to add?
No, I just really appreciate this opportunity. Again, I think Connecticut is very well suited for the future, especially the downtowns that have installed chargers already or are looking to do so, because it is going to be a major lifestyle change. People are not going to be just in your town at the gas station for a couple minutes and then on the road. They're hopefully going to be able to plug in and spend some time at local businesses, and that's really what we are focused on. We're focused on gathering those analytics to prove that people are plugged in. But most importantly, really incentivizing those drivers to get out and spend money. For example, if you plug in a town, there may be an amazing restaurant that's right around the corner. But if you are not from that area or you didn't do a ton of research beforehand, you may not even know about it. And then obviously we know the psychological effect of coupons. My wife, for example, if she gets $10 in Kohl's cash, she has to spend it. Even though she doesn't need anything from Kohl's, she feels like she's throwing away $10. And so that's really what we're trying to do and benefit these small businesses that are located near these chargers.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. So if there are no further questions at this time, I will move forward with my closing remarks.
Savannah, I'm curious, before you get started, sorry, it's Christine. I was just wondering, can you tell when people come back if they're a repeat consumer of the energy or of the coupons?
Yes, we can gather those analytics based on. We didn't want to collect a ton of data from drivers, because we wanted to make it as easy as possible. Drivers do not even need an account to utilize those deals. They can just go up, redeem those deals. But yes, we can tell if there is a repeat user of those deals.
Can you then target them further? Like, oh, we see you love our coffee shop. Here's like our frequent coffee buyer loyalty program.
Yeah, that's definitely something we have in the pipeline right now. We haven't really given that information to the small businesses, but if we hear enough feedback from small businesses that that's what they'd like, that's absolutely something that we could build into the platform.
Yeah, I think that'd be great because I mean, as you were saying, Connecticut has so many great little downtowns that are maybe being newly discovered by people, and so they might be there for a short time that first time, but be so enchanted that they're like, oh, I want to come back here and stay at that boutique hotel or spend more time next time talking to their very fabulous insurance agent that I didn't have time for the first time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Christine. That was a good question. Okay. So now I'll move forward with closing remarks and a few announcements that we have coming up regarding events at Connecticut Main Street Center. We invite you to join the 80+ communities around the state committed to improving their Main Street by becoming a member of Connecticut Main Street Center. As a member, you receive exclusive help and resources to support your downtown work. Please visit ctmainstreet.org to learn more. Registration for our second August webinar, Promoting Your Community with Civic Lift, on August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 12 noon is now open. You can register at ctmainstreet.org/events. We are very proud and excited to announce that registration is now open for our next Main Street Accelerator Program info session taking place on September 19th from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. In this first cohort, we had 5 great teams from across Connecticut participate in the program, and we are very excited to work with new groups to accelerate their Main Street projects. You can register now at ctmainstreet.org/events. Georgetown Village Restoration Inc. was a participant in our very first Main Street Accelerator cohort. Save the date and join us on their charming Main Street for our next Spotlight on Main in Georgetown on September 26th from 3 to 6 p.m. Once again, we thank our sponsors and program partners. When you exit this webinar, you should be prompted to complete an evaluation for this presentation. Please take a moment to share your thoughts as it helps us shape our programming so it is most valuable to you. That concludes today's webinar. Have a great day. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.